Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Ringside Rundown podcast. My name is Erik Vasquez, and joining me on the line is my podcasting partner in crime. Yes, that rhymes. Coming straight from the Berg, she is none other than Shay Hickson. Shay, what's going on, my friend? How are you?
Trying to survive this heat wave.
Yeah,
It's been coming through the East Coast for the last 3 days, but we're making it. Air conditioning's a fun thing. Staying indoors is also a fun thing. And tomorrow it's supposed to be cold, so that's great. And thunderstorm, but you know what? I'll take the rain and the cold over the heat any day.
it is still summer. Summer is still kicking. Over here, it's gotten a little cooler, but
Lucky you.
it's still getting a little warmer throughout the day. So I've been staying indoors and staying in the air conditioner. Hopefully, you guys have been doing the same. If you're just tuning in for the very first time, checking out the Ringside Rundown podcast, thank you very much. First of all, hopefully you get comfortable. Hopefully you have your snacks, because we are back to our original format where we answer your questions about what's going on in the world of professional wrestling. It doesn't matter if it's WWE, AEW, TNA, Ring of Honor. It doesn't matter. Wherever you want to talk about wrestling, we're here to talk about it. We have a lot of questions to answer about different topics, a lot of behind the scenes stuff, backstage stuff to talk about tonight.
Yeah, we're gonna be going in the curtain, out of the curtain, all around the curtain. We got a lot of stuff to talk
We're
about today.
just call us curtain jerkers. That's what we are.
Yeah, that's literally what we are. I mean, hey, with the kind of questions we have, you can't really argue with it. So let's get into it.
All right.
All right, so we're gonna start off. We're gonna switch it up a little bit this week. We're gonna start off with Mike's questions, and we're starting off hot. He wants to know, what do we think is the most important wrestling relationship? Because he stole this idea from the Grilling JR podcast where they said Hogan and Vince. Do you think there is a more important wrestling relationship than that?
I don't know. That's kind of tough. Cause like
Yeah,
Hogan Vince is what put basically WWF at the time on the map, and
yeah.
they've never really wavered. Well, they kind of wavered in the mid 90s, in like before the Attitude Era, when they were trying to do the new generation stuff with like Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels. That was a little bit of a downtime in the business, but they were still mega popular within, like, they had a hardcore fan base at the time. And that was on the backs of what Hulk Hogan did in creating Hulkamania and stuff like that. That's tough. I mean,
Yeah.
it's kind of like Cody is Hogan and Triple H is Vince. So like that's the
Yeah.
only way I can equate it. I wouldn't say it's on the same level just yet. I mean, it kind of would have to be, because they've been breaking records. They've been breaking records, so maybe it's a part, like it's cut down the middle between Roman and Cody and Triple H. Could be like the
Maybe.
the equation to that.
Yeah, I guess that's, you could say that's the modern day Vince and Hogan, maybe. Yeah, it's kind of. I mean, obviously, as shit as both of those men are, it's kind of hard to argue the impact they have on professional wrestling, because without one or the other and both, that wrestling wouldn't be what it is today. So, yeah, they're terrible people, but it's unfortunately, you can't argue the impact they've had. So, yeah, it'd be very tough to pick
Yeah,
anybody that's overall over the course of wrestling history been more important than that relationship. But yeah, if we were to do a modern one, like you said, you could say Triple H Cody, you could say Triple H Roman, you could say both of them, you could say
yeah.
all three of them at once.
It would kind
It's
of
the only
have to
one.
be, yeah, it would kind of have to be a joint effort, because
Both
like,
are Seth in there too.
yeah, that Seth and Triple H have that type of relationship too.
Yeah.
It,
There's three different modern versions, but I don't think it really comes close to the original. But
yeah,
that's
it's
like the Blade era.
that's crazy how it's like, in our modern era, three would equal just the one of the golden era, and I guess that's why they call it the golden era,
Yeah.
because that's when they were making. I mean, they're making the most money they've ever made now. They're breaking
Yeah.
records now. It was just I think the impact, I don't think the impact is there now what it was back then, and during that time frame, the impact that the WWF had when Hogan came on the scene and Hulkamania came about, the impact on pop culture and just everyday life.
Yeah.
It really changed the fabric of like American culture.
Yeah, it really did. So it's kind of hard to really put into words what they've done. I mean, we can only say so much because it's such a broad topic. How we could probably even cover an entire like podcast episode talking about that era of wrestling, probably several.
Most definitely, yeah.
But yeah, it's hard to argue against those two being the most important wrestling relationship, wrestling wise, of course. I mean, professionally is a whole other story, and obviously that's not what we're going to talk about. So yeah, we would agree that would be the most important one. So, moving on from there, we got another fun one. Is there now a dangerous precedent set now that Seth pretended to be injured, but it was all fake, where wrestling fans are just going to be skeptical of any wrestler getting injured? Yeah, I feel like WWE's kind of done this in more than one aspect. The injury thing for sure, because now anytime someone legitimately gets hurt, you're going to have a portion of the fan base just be like, oh, well, no, they're not. Just look at Seth. I mean, he faked it, so why aren't they faking it? And it's just like, now how are they going to get themselves out of that corner, technically? Because how are you going to be able to actually tell people, hey, this is legit? Because you've already lied once before, and once you've lied once before, you're not going to, there's a certain section of fans that aren't going to believe you no matter what you say now. So, yeah, it's not, in hindsight, it might not have been a great idea at the time. It's cool because it's just like, oh shit, that was like, you pulled one over on pretty much everybody, but at what cost? And I think another aspect where they've set kind of a dangerous precedent was also the whole thing with R-Truth, where they got rid of him, everybody got pissed, and then they brought him back, and then they, tried to say, oh, well, that was the plan all along, even though it was never the plan all along. They can bullshit you no matter what. No, what it's not what happened. But now they're kind of saying, with the whole thing with Karrion and Scarlett, which we have a question about that later, which is going to be a fun one to talk about. You have a section of fans for there too, where they're just like, yeah, no, I don't believe it until they just don't show up in WWE or they show up somewhere else. And it's like, and that's the problem with WWE right now, is that they have done so many things to like not insult the intelligence of the fans, but just kind of like put one over on them that you don't really know what's actually true and what's like make believe at this point. And I don't know if I would say that's necessarily a good thing, but that's unfortunately the reality we're dealing with now, where everyone's going to question anything they ever do, news-wise, injury-wise, contract-wise, whatever now, because this is the precedent you have set numerous times in the last few years. So I hope it was worth it, I guess, because now it's just going to be a major headache for them, I would think. But maybe that's just me.
I mean, I'm kind of on the fence. On one side, I see what you're saying and how it sets a dangerous precedent, but on the other hand, I'm like, well, we're fans, so like, kind of, we've been overexposed so much that like we've forgotten that it's really not our place to know what is going on behind the curtain. We can wish we knew what was going on behind the curtain, but really in reality it's not our place to know, because we're just fans. We're just supposed to know what happens on TV. So
that's also the wrestling industry's fault too, if you think about it, because
yeah,
there is no such thing as a curtain anymore. Like, I mean, kind of we were joking about earlier, there's no curtain anymore. Like, it's just wide open, and we even talked about it when we got the question about the Unreal documentary and stuff. It's just like, there is no such thing as secretive, like, kayfabe, anything anymore. It's dead. So
right.
it's like, the problem with the wrestling industry is that you kind of let this happen, so you can't really be upset when fans are so like invested into what's going on, not even just in the ring, but behind the scenes too. You can't really have it both ways.
Right.
You can't be like, well, we'll let people in, but not too much in. It's like, it's a little too late for that.
Yeah,
you guys have pulled the curtain back. There's no like going back on it, so you can't have it both ways.
Right. Yeah. There's no going back. There's no like closing. I mean, they can kind of, I think this is their way of being closed off and kind of keeping stuff guarded. I mean, it just seems like it's one thing after another. If it's not the Karrion Kross situation, now everybody's up in arms about the Naomi situation and what's going on with that. And so it's like, again, we kind of do it, and I don't want to sound hypocritical, because I mean, that's what we do as podcasters. You know, we speculate about what's going on backstage and what might happen in the future, and stories this and stories that, and rumors this and rumors that. That's what we do. But I always maintain that we do it from the perspective as a fan, and not as someone who claims to know everything or have sources or anything like that. We don't have any sources. Everything we talk about is what we've read online or what has been sent to us. But we don't have any sources or any connections and anything like that inside the business, you know. So
we're just fans.
Yeah, exactly. And I've always maintained that. So that's kind of why I sit on the fence in the whole deal, is because it's like, I understand my place ultimately is still a fan, and I'm just, I guess I'm privileged in a way. We're all privileged to have internet access and access to these backstage situations that should be behind closed doors and behind closed curtains, but we get access to through hearsay and grapevines and things like that. I mean, it's fun if you're interested in that side of the business. If that's, you know, if that's what piques your interest. But yeah, I don't know. I guess it's like you said, it's too far. We're too far gone. We can't just automatically go back and close the door and be like, this is the way things are going to be from now on. They're going to be the way they were back in the 70s and 80s when it came to professional wrestling.
Exactly. And again, just as wrestling, like, people in the industry, you can't really be upset. I mean, you could be upset if you didn't really play a part in pulling the curtain back.
Right.
Sure. But if you pulled the curtain back, you can't really be surprised if people are going to stick their head in the curtain if you pull it back. Like, people don't have any self-control when it comes to stuff like that. So you guys asked for it. So don't be so shocked when everybody starts to question every little thing you do now, because that's the precedent you've set. But what do we know? Like you said, we're just fans.
We're just fans.
Have a podcast. That's it. All right. So I'm going to let you take the reins on this question. Mike would like to know our favorite Hulk Hogan match.
How dare you not have a favorite Hulk Hogan? I'm kidding.
I should have went back in time. My bad. But yes, I will sit this one out, Mike. I'm sorry, because that was not my era, not my time. So didn't really see a lot of Hogan matches in my days. So I'll just give this one to you. You can handle this one.
All right. Well, I would have to say my favorite all-time Hulk Hogan match would be Hulk Hogan versus Ultimate Warrior WrestleMania 6. That match for like a plethora of reasons. I was very young at the time. God, what year was WrestleMania 6? I don't even know. This is why we need
look it up.
Yeah, this is why we need a producer. Because
we need an editor or something. 1990.
1990. So I was all of 4 years old. I was all of
-6.
Yeah, I was all of 4 years old. This was the first time I was exposed to what they call a face versus face match, a good guy versus good guy. I never, that concept was foreign to me. It was always good guy versus bad guy. Hulk Hogan was the good guy, and he was always facing the bad guys. And now all of a sudden he's facing another good guy, and my brain couldn't understand that concept. Then on top of that, not only was Hulk Hogan the world champion, but Ultimate Warrior was the Intercontinental champion, and it was winner take all. And my brain was like, wait a minute, there's gonna be someone with 2 belts. They can do that. They can be double champion. and then the actual match is something that consistently blows my mind, because Hogan was never known as one of those technical workers that can wow you with wrestling moves and things like that. He had it in him. He had the capabilities, and he would always show it when he was in places like Japan and things like that. But when it came to WWF programming, you never really saw the mat expertise of Hulk Hogan. This match was interesting because according, and you kind of have to take this with a grain of salt because it's Hulk Hogan, but according to Hulk Hogan, very early in the match, Ultimate Warrior wanted to do what they call go home, which is basically go to the end of the match. Whatever we had planned for the end of the match, we got to go to that. But that was so early on in the match, Hulk Hogan was like, no, there's no way we can go this early into the finish of the match. So he took over the reins and he called the rest of the match. And the match for me was also the first time that I was exposed to something like false finishes, where you get the 1, 2, and then, you know, and you think, because that time in wrestling, everything was so pre-programmed, you know, everything, you know, when the finishing move came, you know, they weren't kicking out. You know, the good guy faces the bad guy, and everything about this match flipped wrestling as I knew it on its head, because they were throwing out moves and Hogan was hulking out, and then he hits the leg drop, and then Ultimate Warrior kicks out of the leg drop. And what do you mean he kicked out of the leg drop? My mind still to this day would not be able to comprehend that, because it went against everything I knew about wrestling. That was my favorite Hulk Hogan match, and that'll probably go down because I've seen a bunch of Hulk Hogan matches. That'll go down as my ultimate favorite one. The one with The Rock isn't so bad. WrestleMania 18. I always found that one funny because The Rock ended up being the winner, and Hogan, for whatever reason, would not give up the ring to The Rock and just bow out graciously. He soaked every minute of that up. He stood there with The Rock, so I found that very funny. But yeah, WrestleMania 6 for me, Hulk Hogan versus the Ultimate Warrior.
All right, there you have it. Again, sorry, Mike, because it's just I can only do so much. So it was a good choice, good explanation. So thank you for taking the reins on that one, because I sure couldn't contribute to that one in any meaningful way.
No problem, no problem.
All right, so back to present day WWE. Mike was a little confused by them just dropping the Cena heel persona so suddenly. What are our thoughts on it? I know exactly what it was. They realized, hey, we fucked up. This is a mess. Rock's not doing anything anymore. Travis Scott's a waste of space. So, okay, let's just pretend like that never happened. And I still just don't understand why we had to do this in the first place. Like, it really did nothing to elevate Cena's farewell tour. If anything, it definitely hampered it in more than one aspect. And it would have been a little better if, I don't know, The Rock actually showed up, instead of just, okay, we're going to do this and we're going to hint at this, and then we're going to have you guys allude to it and allude to the fact that I was like controlling Cena, and then I'm never going to show up. And then Travis Scott's apparently supposed to be a big thing, and turns out he doesn't want to really work hard to learn wrestling, and now we hate him. So it was just a clusterfuck from the start. We tried to give it time. We said at the beginning we hated it, but see how it plays out. Still didn't play out great. So I think they finally just realized, hey, look, we have less than 4 months left of Cena in WWE, so we might want to actually make it worth our while and give the people what they really wanted, because I feel like, yes, people back in the day wanted Cena to turn heel, but I don't think they really wanted him to turn heel as he was going out the door. So this was, at least for me, a massive miss by WWE. I can appreciate the guts to try it. It just, for me, it didn't work out because I just thought it was stupid from the start. So I'm just glad they finally realized that, hey, this was a really bad idea. We're just going to pivot and scrub that from the memories.
Yeah. Like you said, I can appreciate that they attempted to do it. I think attempting to do it was smart. I think what really screwed it up is there was no end game for The Rock's inclusion in the whole thing. I think if they had a story in place that included The Rock, it would have made a lot more sense, and they could have elevated The Rock into some sort of elite final boss character where he's like consuming souls and things like that. It was just like, I wanted Cody's soul, he didn't want to give it to me, so I took John Cena and bye, you know, and that was the end of that. I think that's my only gripe with it. I think that's probably why, because I read what's online, and I can't avoid it, you know, because I'm so chronically online, you know, that I can't avoid the chatter, you know. So I see it, and I guess because I try not to be someone that complains, like tries to see the negative before I see the positive. I'm not so much like everybody. Everybody else is like, this is the worst thing that's ever happened. Like John Cena's heel turn is like the worst thing that's ever happened. I don't think it's necessarily great, but I don't think it's as bad as it seems. I think, again, without The Rock's inclusion, without telling that story as to why John Cena aligned himself with The Rock in the first place, that's why this was dead in the water. But I think what they could have done too was do a little bit better job of telling the story of John Cena seeing the light. I think if maybe they would have had the SummerSlam match without John Cena turning back to a good guy, then after the match, he gets on the mic and he starts professing that he realizes that maybe he was going about things the wrong way. He's telling this heartfelt promo to try to get the fans back on his side, and then Brock Lesnar's music hits and that place goes crazy. I think that would have kind of steered it to a better way. Again, they switched him back on a random episode of SmackDown, the go home episode of SummerSlam. Why? What would, if the point is to sell last minute subscriptions or viewage to SummerSlam on Peacock, why kind of take a dump on the match, on the main event? You know, so there was just some weird, I think honestly, without the inclusion of The Rock, they had to do a lot of pivoting.
It's funny how that works. He's always the common denominator in them having to pivot drastically. It's almost as if
but he
for fun.
Like, at least the first time it was like to their benefit. Like, he actually like helped them out. This time he didn't do jack shit. Like, it's like you're a main focal point in the story. Again, why we never get the answer as to what John Cena thought was a good idea to kick Cody Rhodes in the nuts and align himself with The Rock. We never get an answer to that as to why that part. We know John Cena was sick of being, as he said it, abused by the fans in an abusive relationship. But again, it's the story that involves The Rock. Why was The Rock there? You know, how did The Rock convince you? Tell us that part of the story.
Well, that was the annoying part of it, where they alluded to it how many times in these promos, and it just never happened. Like, Cody would say it numerous times, and Cena just never responded. And it's just like, it's right fucking there. Just say something, like anything. And it was just, I don't know. It was just a little bit of a waste of time. I'm not gonna, like I said, I get where you're coming from, because I see this shit online too, and I try not to buy into the hate fest that is the internet wrestling community. Was it the worst thing in the world? Absolutely not. But I'm also not going to try and be overly positive and be like, oh, guys, actually, it really wasn't that bad, because that's it's like, no, it was bad. It's just, I'm not going to say it was the worst thing in the world, because it's like, if it's bad, it's bad. I'm not going to blow smoke up anybody's ass. It's just, it's not good. And this whole thing was not good because for whatever reason, The Rock decided we'll just do this, and then I'm just going to run off for a while. And that's it.
Yeah, I think there's a chance that with these last couple months, it could be better, but I think the internet wrestling community is so hard-headed and stubborn that once they are dead set in their ways, it's kind of hard to flip them. You have to do something drastic to really flip them, and I don't think four months is enough time to do something drastic. So I'm just gonna enjoy the rest of the ride. I mean, it's the last 4 months we get of John Cena, however many appearances he decides to make. So I'm just gonna enjoy it for what it is, because as John Cena said, when it's over, it's over. I'm not coming back. You're not seeing these jorts anymore. So I'm just gonna enjoy it for what it is.
Yeah, and like we said before many times, it's like, well, guys, you asked for this. you thought this was a good idea, and this is what you got, and you've had no backup plan for it. So, congratulations, I guess. All right. Okay, so this is just a question. I know Mike's just trying to rile me up, so I'm just gonna get over this real quick. So Brock's back. So he would like to know how many Brock Lesnar shirts that I order, and am I now the Brock Lesnar girl? I'm not even gonna waste time on that one. We heard my rant last week. It's like you're trying to get me all mad again.
That's his gimmick. He loves poking the bear with people. I see that in Mike. He loves poking the bear and seeing how much of a shit stirrer he can be. So don't let him get to you.
Well, to answer his question quickly as I can, no shirts, never a Lesnar fan, never will be. I wish he'd go away. That's it. So that's the answer to that. So we're going to just move on to this next one. What are our thoughts on the ESPN WWE deal? Well, they couldn't have rolled it out any worse.
Oh, yeah.
Explanation-wise, I remember when I initially saw that, I said to myself, you have got to be fucking kidding me. Not only do I have to pay for Netflix to watch some of your shows and cable to watch your other shows, and I already had Peacock for your pay-per-views and everything, now you're going to want me to cancel Peacock and go to the more expensive subscriptions thing. And it's just like, what are we fucking doing? It's like, does the greed not end? And I mean, luckily for people like me who still have cable, it won't be an issue because I guess it's included in whatever new fucking app they're making for the ESPN Plus, whatever it is. So technically, since I have cable, I get all the pay-per-views for free, which is great, I guess. But most people, or a good portion of people, don't have cable, so they're going to have to pay, what is it, $300 a year or $30 a month? And it's just Jesus Christ, you guys never know when enough's enough, do you? It's I mean, let's be honest, it comes across as a little greedy, because it is. So, it's just TKO being TKO. It's nothing new, unfortunately.
Yeah, I kind of had a small panic, and I was just like, are you kidding me? This is the state of which I live in. I'm on a fixed income, so this isn't something that's conducive to that fixed income. It was gonna be well, I guess I'm really gonna have to grind out these streams and really work and try to make up the money so I could be able to afford just the PLEs. But what they, like you said, here's the wording: if you have regular cable TV or you use a service like, let's say, Hulu, I use YouTube TV, Sling, DirecTV, stuff like that. If you have an ESPN package, you're good to go. You don't have to worry about it. So essentially what this is doing is this is helping me save money because I won't need Peacock anymore. And I essentially just use Peacock for the PLEs. So essentially this is saving me money. But like you said, they couldn't have worded this any worse. I would have said, I would have rolled out the whole thing and then used that as a selling point. Hey, good news. If you have these services, you're good to go. And that would have been everybody would have been whoa, this is monumental. What do you mean? I don't have to pay anything extra to watch the PLEs now? People's minds would have shifted. It's similar to the UFC just signed a major deal with Paramount to air all UFC events on Paramount simply for the subscription price of the Paramount service. So if you already had the Paramount service and you were using it, you get all the UFC pay-per-views and events on that service included. And that's such a selling point because it's going down from like $36 per event to now paying maybe $13 a month, and you get all of them throughout the entire year. Like, again, I don't know why they worded it like that and why they didn't lead with that information. Why didn't they make that? Because I was almost in a full state of panic, you know?
Yeah,
Like,
understandably. Maybe that was by design. Maybe they were like, oh, maybe people panic buy the subscription when the time comes. But my thing is like, where's all the rest of the like content and shit gonna go? Is it gonna go to ESPN with the pay-per-views? Is it gonna stay on Peacock? Like, what are we doing? Like, I would assume it would all go to ESPN, but well, I don't know. I mean, I don't think they really did. They talk about that? Because I don't think they did.
No, they didn't. They just said that it was just going to be the place to get all the PLEs throughout the year, starting in 2026. Now, that's the thing. Like, I miss the WWE network so much.
Me too.
It was just so perfect. I mean, you had everything there, every single pay-per-view, PLE, every single WCW episode, and now you have to do like this mad scramble. Half the shit isn't on there. There's gaps in time, and it was just like we've strayed so far away from the original vision of having a 24/7 cable, I mean, not necessarily cable, but a 24/7 service that was just WWE altogether. We've strayed so far from that vision. I mean, again, the positive thing is I'm not going to need Peacock, so I'm essentially saving money because
hopefully, unless they leave all their shit on Peacock, and then that's even worse because it's like, oh, well, you're going to need ESPN and Peacock if you want to make sure you get everything. So,
right. Like, I think the deal with Peacock is up. I think that's the situation. The deal with Peacock is up. So essentially, I'm assuming they're just going to be removing the content off the Peacock app, and maybe some of it'll go to Netflix, some of it'll go to the new ESPN app. This is just so much. Remember when this streaming stuff first started, and it was supposed to essentially make life a lot easier?
Yeah, it was supposed to save you from cable. Yeah. Funny how the tables turn on that one.
Yeah.
For as much as you pay for all these subscriptions and shit, you might as well just get cable. Like, it's even more expensive than cable. So it's funny how you live long enough to see yourself become the villain in that situation. But, you know, corporate greed is a never-ending thing, unfortunately. But
capitalism.
I don't know. Maybe they'll make it. Unfortunately, it really is. I hate it. Hopefully, just hopefully, they'll explain it a little better where, like, everything else goes besides the PLEs, because I'm sure people would actually like to know that, but maybe they'll set out another shitty press release and confuse people even more, because that clearly worked so well the last time.
Yep.
But, my head hurts now. Anyway, in our opinion, would it be worthwhile to have Pat McAfee come back to announce the Big Four? I mean, I'm just gonna say I don't think so, because I'll be completely honest, like, yeah, can he be funny? Sometimes, yes, but I feel like sometimes he becomes more an annoyance than anything, where it's just like, I get that he's wired up and everything, but after a while, you're kind of talking over the entrances, you're talking over people, you're just being fucking obnoxious, and it just kind of takes away from it, at least for me. So, I tend to also just 9 times out of 10 not notice when he's there, because that's not really the thing I need to focus on anyway, because I'd rather be worrying about whatever's going on in the rings. So, I don't think it would be worthwhile, just mainly for the fact of I just don't think it really makes that big of a difference, but maybe that's just me. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, I think Corey Graves is perfect. You know, like I'm perfectly fine with Corey Graves. Nothing against Pat McAfee, but it's kind of like what you said. Like his shtick kind of can sometimes be a little too a little too over the top, and like every week for 2.5 hours it's the same. It's like you're bombarded with it. You're almost exhausted when
Yeah.
when it's done and over with. It's like hanging out with that one friend that is just on all the time, and after you're done hanging out with them, you're like, man, that was exhausting. But
I feel like I need a nap.
yeah, exactly. But I like Corey Graves. I've always been a fan of Corey
Yeah.
Graves. I like
Me
his
too.
I think he's funny when he needs to be, but he's also very informative, which is great. Like, I like the analytical mind. And I think
Yeah.
he works well with Michael Cole. Michael Cole might not like it. He might love Pat McAfee so much that he misses Pat McAfee by his
Mhm.
side, but I just think he works a lot better with someone like Corey Graves.
I agree because yeah, the humor's funny and all, but at the end of the day, this is also wrestling, and you kind of want somebody who knows what they're talking about. So if that would be the case, I completely agree with you. Just put Corey there.
Yeah.
So that's our thing. We don't really care if Pat's there or not, but they do. So again, what do we know? We just talk into microphones every week. But yeah, ooh. Is it fair for the IWC to blame WWE about Brock's return, or should the blame, if that's even the right term, be TKO? I think it's probably easy to say both. Probably. Oh God. I mean, I guess you could say blame because I'm not entirely sure what else how you would word it other than just the IWC blaming them. I feel like if you had to pick one over the other, it would probably be WWE.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, clearly TKO for the longest time didn't really see him as such a big deal, or else they would have brought him back by now. But granted, if WWE wants something done, they have to run it by TKO first. So that pretty much just says the WWE initiated this, because they probably did. But again, that's all, we're just speculating. We have no idea. But I wouldn't be surprised if it was WWE's idea to bring him back in the first place, and TKO's like, yeah, sure, because they probably just needed to hear, oh, he'll bring in money, and that's all they needed to hear, and they could give a shit less. Because let's be completely honest, guys, we've talked about this many times before. TKO doesn't give a fuck about the wrestling part of it. They just care about, does this make us money? So all WWE just had to do was, hey, we need to bring him back because we really think this is going to bring us in more money, and they're like, oh, sure, sign us up. Like, so I'd say WWE probably started it, but TKO was definitely complicit in it. So they both suck for bringing him back.
Yeah, yeah. I think Brock Lesnar is a great example of the echo chamber that is the internet wrestling community. The internet wrestling community probably kind of falls in line with the same way you're thinking. They're like, we don't really need him around. And I'm the same way. I've said it last week. I'm not a big Brock Lesnar guy. I don't really care for him. But again, it's that reaction. WWE only cares about the reaction of the live crowd. If there was massive boos, like if it was drown out boos, like Hogan at the Netflix premiere situation, then that'd be different. Then it'd be different. But the reaction live wasn't that. It was complete opposite. And this is something that I constantly say on the show, is that WWE and TKO, they care about the live reaction, because the live reaction is the paying reaction, you know.
Well, yes, and also no, but I'll get to why I think that's kind of a pick and choose kind of situation on WWE's part later on. But
It totally is a pick and choose situation. I agree with you. It is a pick and choose situation, but
because you can't say you can't just say, oh well, we listen to the fans, we know what you guys want, and then when they tell you, hey, we want this person, they're just like, oh yeah, sorry, I couldn't hear you. That what were you saying? Like,
yeah, but they do that. They do that all the time.
Yeah, it's, I don't know. It's just
they do that all the time. It's
just whatever they feel like at the time. That's pretty much what it is. They're just like, they can say, oh well, we listen to the fans, But I think the easiest way to put it is just we listen to the fans when it's convenient for us.
Right, yeah, oh yeah.
That's like the truth.
Yep, that's exactly what it is. It's whatever lip service they can spout out to make themselves look good.
Yeah.
And they're always going to point to the money. They're always going to point to the money. The money is a big factor in all of this because the money is the tangible proof that we can do and say whatever we want, and if we feel like changing our minds or feel like going on a different path, we can do so because you're still gonna watch. You know,
Yeah.
you're still gonna watch. You're still gonna be a fan. You know, so it's like when you realize that, it's like, well, what do you do? You know, because like, we can bitch and complain and moan, and maybe it might change some things again. Like I said, if Brock Lesnar would have came out and that arena drowned him out in booze, like he was Hogan at the Netflix premiere, then we would never see Brock Lesnar again. But it was a different reaction, so it's like, fuck, now we're stuck with him. You know, and I think that's what it is.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. I think it's the realization for people that don't care about Brock Lesnar or don't particularly want to see Brock Lesnar for his indiscretions. It's like, well, fuck, it doesn't even matter what we think. You know, we're stuck with him either way.
Yeah, it's like, thanks, Jersey. Really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Really appreciate it. Really did us a solid.
I'm telling you, it's the reaction of the paying customer that goes to the live events. The live events is where they make the most of their money. So that's why they care about those reactions. So that's why those reactions are front and center. And then you see the reactions of the streamers and everybody doing the reactions online, because it's like, oh, we can pick and choose from this online crop that we don't care about, but it makes us look good. So might as well shoehorn in there. So like it makes us look fantastic. You know, that's basically all it is.
Like, literally, what would have happened if, like, 100 streamers had a reaction and 90 of them were negative? They would just pick and choose, oh, well, there's 10 of them that were good, so we're just going to pretend like, oh, that was the overwhelming majority, when that might not have been the case,
right?
As far as we know, but it's just, it's capitalism, it's corporate America.
It's
shit, but... Like you said, what are we gonna do?
What are we gonna do? He's not gonna be there forever. He's not even gonna take up most of the time. I think I read that, and this is rich. They are counter programming AEW's All Out pay-per-view with the PLE, and that PLE is going to feature Brock Lesnar versus John Cena.
Oh, please.
Okay. So, I mean, from a money standpoint, I mean, I'm already locked into the WWE PLE over the AEW pay-per-view because I don't feel like spending $50. You know?
No, it's just like, it goes back to that argument of like, on AEW side, we've said a million times, like, it's the little brother syndrome, but WWE is not innocent in this either.
No, they're totally not.
If you weren't worried about them, then why are you doing a completely new pay-per-view that had nothing to do with anything other than just, oh, well, they have a pay-per-view that same day? It's just like, okay, really? Like, please.
But that's the thing. The fascinating aspect to me of it is, well, I mean, for financial reasons, I can just turn on the WWE PLE. You know, I can do my little watch along on Twitch too. I can be productive. Whereas the AEW pay-per-view, I got to scramble and come up with $50 to order. Yeah. And what if it's a dud, you know? Because it's
happened before.
Yeah, it's happened before. So what if you spent $50 on a dud pay-per-view, you know, where like WWE PLE, say what you want, they are okay at worst. They are okay. Yeah. You know?
Yeah, they're never terrible.
Yeah, they're never terrible. So you get your money's worth, and it's only what, $13.99, whatever, like that. So it's like, already WWE's winning. That's the fascinating part to me. I think that tells you a lot about what middle America is all about now. If you were to do a poll of the everyday wrestling fan that consumes both WWE and AEW on a regular basis, if you were to ask them, are you going to watch a $50 AEW pay-per-view or watch a WWE PLE on the same day that is going to be shown with your current subscription price that you're already paying? I think a lot of them would choose the WWE PLE. I think it's a fascinating social experiment.
Yeah, it is. It is fascinating to watch. That's for sure. And that's just the sad thing is that I think WWE knows finance rules everything. And like you said, am I going to spend $50, $60 on a show that I can't guarantee is going to be good? Or do I spend less money on the pay-per-view that, it might just be maybe okay, but I'm also not going to feel like I wasted my money. And so.
Yeah, exactly. That's bottom line. That's what it is right there. You just said it.
As always, capitalism wins again. That's just. I feel like this is just going to be the theme of this episode. It's just fucking capitalism. It's great. Anyway. So last week on Raw, we saw the El Grandes. This week, just Kaiser as El Grande Americano. What the hell are we doing here? What could possibly be the payoff for this angle? I have no fucking idea. I've been so tuned out on that shit that it's just like, why is this still a thing? I mean, I get that the real Grande Americano, even though we'll never know exactly because it was such a mystery and shrouded in what secrecy and what the fuck ever. It was stupid from the beginning. And it's still stupid now. So what do you? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't. I want to know what creative member of the creative writing team thinks this is interesting. I want to. I want to know what goes on in that head of yours. You know,
like, why?
Because this is not interesting to me. I'd rather see Ludwig Kaiser wrestle as Ludwig Kaiser. He was a way more interesting character as Ludwig Kaiser when you were doing those European elegance vignettes, which you never followed up on. You just kind of let him die in the water, you know?
Yeah, they do like doing that sometimes, don't they?
Pete Dunne is perfectly fine as Pete Dunne. This is the same Pete Dunne you had run Ravage all over NXT UK, and you telling me you don't know what to do with him now? Like, what is going on? It's the same Pete Dunne. It's the same Pete Dunne. I don't get it. I don't understand why it's so hard. I don't get it. I don't know. I'm not. The Grande Americano thing confuses the hell out of me.
It's a waste of time.
Yeah, it's not my type of comedy.
No, it's just stupid. I mean, it'd be funny if it was just like, oh, it's so stupid, it's funny. This is just stupid. There's no humor to it. It's just fucking stupid.
Yeah, there's no humor to it. That's basically it.
Yeah, it's just things to make me mad all over again. It's stupid. That's just all it is. It's just fucking dumb. All right, more thoughts. What are our thoughts on Bayley's odd vignette promo? I feel like there was like a running theory going online, and I didn't really notice it until now that maybe she's kind of playing up the whole like different personality types, maybe, because it's like you got the good guy, but then you kind of still have like the bad guy, and so they're kind of just like fighting each other. And I mean, are they going to do that after they kind of did this with R-Truth? Maybe, but I mean, I can honestly see this kind of character working for Bayley because God knows she's had enough shit she's had to put up with for the last however many years or so. So I mean, crazy is not really out of the realm of possibility with her. So I'm at least interested to see where this goes. But yeah, she could definitely act. I can tell you that. She's got good acting skills.
Yeah, so that's why I'm kind of captivated and kind of wanting to see where this different mental state of Bayley is going to go. I think they can really play up on a fragile mental state story where she doesn't know which way, which direction, who to trust. You know, she can kind of basically take whatever they plan to do with Ron Killings that they forgot about and give it to Bayley. You know?
Yeah, they do. Again, they just kind of forget things. So just like, hey, just pick it
Yeah.
up and put it on somebody else. It'll
Yeah,
work,
so
hopefully.
basically that's what they could do. I'm intrigued by it because again, Bailey's such a veteran and she's been around
Yeah.
the block that she could probably make this work, you know, and
Oh, she,
you know, and she's got a lot of ammunition. She's got a lot of ammunition from being pulled out of the WrestleMania match to not even being on the SummerSlam card. You know, she's got a lot of things she can work on. She can turn it into a real life, like it could be it could be a situation where like we can't tell if she's just working
uh-huh.
being Bailey
Yep.
and working, or if this is real life grievances we're shooting, you know. So
Yeah.
like I would love to see something like that, maybe a little bit of an unhinged Bailey where she's kind of disrupting the show but she's kind of terrifying people in a way, like she's got Michael Cole scared for his life, you know.
Yeah.
I would love to see something like that, but I'm very intrigued, especially with the vignette, because it was just weird. It was weird. It was like it was one of those where you're watching it and you're like, oh, you kind of feel bad for Bailey because she's been through a lot, and then all of a sudden you start realizing this thing is getting off the rails and it's being very creepy, very fast. You know, so
Yeah.
that's kind of what has me intrigued.
Exactly. And you said it perfectly with Bailey being the veteran that she is. They could fully take things that, hey, people kind of just forget that it existed because, should have been something that Ron Killings was doing. And then they're
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, yeah, we don't give a shit about that. But yeah, Bailey, you could do that. And a lot of people could fall flat on their face with such a sudden shift, but Bailey can easily take this and run with it. And yeah, I'm very interested to see where this goes. We go from one shit character of El Grande Americano, we don't care about it, to this, where we're definitely invested. We'd like to
Yeah,
see how far this goes and how real this gets, because she could absolutely unload some real life feelings into this, and you would never know if she actually was or not. So I kind of hope they do, just for the chaos.
for sure.
Um, Speaking to another odd little, there's just been a lot of odd things happening lately. So do we kind of agree that Asuka being mad at Iyo just kind of happened rather abruptly? Yes, because I think that, and unfortunately, I think that whole thing with Naomi had something to do with it.
Mm,
Because supposedly, and again, let's just take it with a grain of salt, there was a rumor going around online that Asuka was always going to turn heel. It was just supposed to be kind of a slow burn, but
mm,
supposedly, whatever is happening with Naomi, which apparently there's another rumor going around. She's legitimately hurt. She might be out for a while, which I really hope that's not the case, because if that is, then fuck, that's a downer.
yeah.
But that might have hinted the whole domino effect thing where, hey, she's going to be out for a specific period of time. Io's going to need something to do, because you can't just have Io sitting catering, not doing anything. And, well, Asuka's the next best option, because there's a story there, just based off the fact that those are two of the best women's wrestlers in the world just going at it. And Asuka has a legit beef. So you know what? I guess it's just a shame that we got it so soon, because I was kind of hoping for it to build slowly, but like Naomi's injury kind of threw a wrench into some things.
Right. Yeah, I think so too. Now that you put it that way. Yeah, I mean, I would have guessed, like if you would have asked me while Oscar was out on injury, what would be the one thing you would do with Oscar when she comes back? I'd say turn her heel. So that way we
Hmm.
could see Oscar versus Iyo Sky. And so I think again the Naomi situation, nobody really knows what it is. I have theories as everybody else does. And we're all paying attention to the rumors, but she's gonna be out for what looks to be a long time according to the rumors. So
Yeah.
they kind of rushed this. I mean, again, that's the only I'm not upset at how it went. I think it went okay because it's kind of like they're pushing Asuka to her breaking point. And then
Yeah.
when we all know what Asuka's like when she gets to that breaking point. But then
Hmm.
again, it's Iyo
Dangerous.
Sky. Iyo Sky, the craziest thing, Iyo Sky was supposed to have a world title match against Naomi. That gets pulled. She has a
Yeah.
random match with Roxanne and has a fucking barn burner with
Such a
Roxanne.
good match.
It was such a good match. Iyo Sky's the best. Iyo Sky's the best. Like, male or female, Iyo Sky's the best. Because
Absolutely.
this lady is just, anything you throw at her, she's just gonna have a banger of a match. So it's just like, damn, you kind of feel bad for her because, I mean, not to say that Naomi was going to lose the match, but it still could have been a great match.
Yeah. Yeah, it's yeah, I couldn't have said it better myself. It's
Yes,
just
I'm just wondering what's going on with Naomi, and hopefully everything is okay.
I hope so, because if she's gonna be out for a while, that's gonna fucking suck, because I was excited to see what she would do more and like do with her reign, who else she'd go against. I mean, hell, she had Stephanie Vaquera clash in like Paris. That's clearly probably not gonna happen now, which sucks,
Yeah.
because that would have been a great match. But yeah, hopefully it's not as bad as they're saying, and hopefully she comes back soon, because they, not that the division like absolutely needs her, it's going to collapse without her there, but she's definitely a big addition into it. So hopefully it's not as long as they're saying, but if it is, it's just gonna it's gonna be a bummer.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so I'm gonna flip flop some of Mike's questions because I can. So let's just say JR and Tony Schiavone's deals are up at the end of the year in AEW. Would you want that final match in WWE?
Ooh.
I mean, yeah. I mean, why not? Just for the nostalgia trip, why the hell not? I don't really see why it would be a big deal, so sure, go for it.
Yeah, I don't think so much Shivani, because Shivani was only in the WWF for
Yeah.
a very short amount of time. It would be nice to have JR, but like, I mean, maybe for like Cena's last match, that would have been very nice. Because again, you got to think, like, what connection does JR have with anything left over in WWE? You know, we don't even know if he's current with the current product. So like, John Cena might be the only thing that he has like left inside
Yeah.
of his brain that he can call. So I mean, the opportunity to do so is like few and far. It's coming to fleeting, but I would
Mhm.
like to see JR get like one last call in WWE. That'd be nice. Shivani, again, is like, he was only there for a cup of coffee, so I don't think it would make sense for Shivani. But for JR,
No.
I would like to see him maybe call Cena's last match.
I agree with that. It's just would have that big asterisk next to it of, does he actually know what's going on, and hopefully wouldn't be an absolute train wreck. But yeah, I would agree. Definitely JR. Tony, yeah, he was never around enough, so I wouldn't be too upset if he never came back. We still love Tony on AEW though, but WWE is just kind of like, what's the point? All right, so this is Mike's last question. If we could pick 3 wrestlers and just tweak their performance a little bit, who would they be and what would we tweak?
3 wrestlers that tweak
Um,
their performance.
I mean, I feel like one's kind of very glaringly obvious, and I think Jade Cargill's got to be one, where I'm not so much saying, this would be a terrible way to word it. I'm not saying like tweak her having more experience, because that just doesn't exist. That just doesn't happen. I feel like her sometimes her she's very clunky in the ring. She's not as like smooth, and I feel like even if you're not as experienced, if you're smooth in the ring, you can kind of like mask the fact that, oh well, that didn't go according to plan, or oh, that wasn't as good as it should have been. But I feel like, at least as we've seen in her previous matches, when she makes a mistake or there's like a spot where the chemistry's not there, it's very obvious. It's very glaring. So I feel like maybe if she could be a little smoother, it might not be as obvious that things aren't going so well. But that's just me on that one. Because again, you can't say, oh, well, I want her to have more experience. It's like, because that's not going to happen unless she is in the ring more. So I would say for that pick, at least, have Jade be a little more fluid in the ring, I guess. That's one.
You got 2 more.
Oh God. clearly, I guess we're gonna have to go realistic. We can't go just like idealistic because we could be here all fucking night. Hmm.
This is a tough one. I'm racking my brain here.
Yeah, because you can't just say like insert name here, and the thing they would tweak is like have them have more of like a spotlight because that's not so much a performance issue with them. That's just a creative issue. So there goes about 50 of my answers pretty much. Um, I feel like, you know what? I guess I'll say Nia Jax, and I would give her, how do I word it? I would change her move set.
Oh,
Not so much the fact of getting rid of stuff in her move set. I would say more adding to it because I think everyone's biggest like gripe with her is just okay, well she just runs people over and hits them with the Samoan drop, and that's pretty much, and like the Annihilator in the corner, and that's it. So it's like she literally has 3 moves, and that's it. It's just like maybe make it a little more rounded, well-rounded, maybe. So you don't have people saying, "Oh, well, all she does are these 3 moves, and that's it," because you could be a powerhouse and have more than a few moves, but I don't think people really seem to have that agreement when it comes to Nia Jax. So maybe give her more of a well-rounded move set would be the thing I would tweak for her. Fuck.
now did he say just WWE or can we go AEW as well?
I think he just said wrestler. Yeah, he just said wrestler, so we could do AEW if we wanted.
Okay.
So I'm trying to think of somebody in AEW. See, and it's so tough because I keep thinking of people, but it's more of a creative decision, not so much like performance decision. So that doesn't.
It's not on them, it's how they're being used.
Yeah. Yeah, this
is a stumper, Mike.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. Appreciate it. God damn. Yeah, I don't know if I can come up with somebody in AEW because everything I'm thinking of is all creative, like tweaks, not so much performance tweaks. Okay, I guess I'll just throw this one out there just for like the sake of I don't want to be here all night, and I'll just say like give Megan Bayne more like explosiveness and like personality wise in the ring, maybe. She's very stoic, which I get it. She's a mythological kind of like creature. I understand it as a mythology nerd myself, I suppose. That fits with like the theme, but maybe give her a little bit more personality, maybe, and then she'd be more interesting to some people. Because again, if you're not super into mythology, you're gonna think she's a boring person. Like, you're gonna think she's boring in the ring, another powerhouse, whatever. She has a cool look. That's it. If you get mythology, you get it, but if you don't, you don't. So I don't know. It'd be kind of tough to run that like middle line of, okay, well she's supposed to be the stoic like Greek goddess, but she also has to be like have a personality in the ring. So I don't know. I guess that's just the only thing I could come up with just to give myself an answer. So sure, I don't necessarily agree with it, but we needed to come up with something. So
all right.
So that's it.
So this is definitely a stumper, but I've gone over to the land of All Elite Wrestling, and first on the agenda, what I would tweak, I would tell the Young Bucks to start wrestling matches like they were back in PWG.
Yeah.
Because I think that's their best work. I think that's when they're most compelling and most captivating, and people actually like what they're doing. More super kicks. I would not have Mercedes Moné cut so many promos where she would be on the microphone a lot. I don't think that serves her any purpose.
Mm-mm. Not at all.
And what's the last one? What's the last
See, it's a
one?
stumper.
Yeah, it is a stumper. Cause I feel like
Okay.
these are all things that would benefit well in AEW.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. I tried
uh,
to be broad, but yeah. Thanks, Mike. We really appreciate
yeah.
it.
Man. And John Moxley needs to stop bleeding so much.
Well,
I
that's
mean,
been
I mean,
a problem for a while.
I could spend my 3 picks on anything John Moxley related. I could be like, John
Oh,
Moxley needs to wrestle a more interesting style. His style is very vague. It's very boring. It's very one-sided. You know, he needs to stop bleeding, and he needs to stop like doing all the things like biting people and yeah, just the hygienic stuff.
yeah, yeah. It's just yeah, it's a good one. Those are some good ones. I approve.
It's AEW.
Yeah, unfortunately. And like I said, I was trying to be nice. I was trying to, like get out there, but I at least had one AEW and two WWE. All right, we got some well-rounded picks there, I think.
We did.
All right, so that was all of Mike's questions. So
Thank you,
thank you
Mike.
as always for the stumpers. We do know that's always Mike's favorite thing too, besides just making us mad. It's just stumping us. So
Yeah,
we
stumping us and
appreciate it.
stern shit.
Yeah, that's his Twitter bio right there. That's what
Yeah.
he needs to change it to. But either way, thank you, Mike. So let us move on. So we got mom's questions and comments. So um again, I'm gonna do some creative control here. I'm gonna switch some things around because we already talked about this one. So obviously WWE getting the PLEs on ESPN in 2026. How much money is actually enough? I mean, we kind of talked about it. It it's never enough for TKO and WWE.
No, never.
Also, I thought it was very bold of Nick Khan to have the balls to be like, well, I think that's not going to be a problem for some people. Everybody's going to come over from Peacock, and it's like, you sure about that? Like,
He
if you
it's
don't have cable,
yeah, like if you don't have cable, if you don't use anything, like you're gonna end up paying like $15 extra if you already use the Peacock service and you want to
yeah,
keep having the PLEs. You're gonna have to pay like an extra $15 more now. I think they did a misservice by not leading with the fact that if you already receive ESPN in your current package of whatever you use, then you already get the ESPN app that is coming out whenever it comes out. I don't know why they left that out. I feel like that was an important bit of information that would have definitely quelled the craziness, because again, when I saw that DM that you sent me, I was just like, oh no, like
yeah,
so yeah, I don't think it's ever enough money. They're gonna always try to break the records. They're always gonna try to stay $1 billion conglomerate. You know, it's just it
yeah,
is what it is. We're all slaves to the master that is WWE.
yeah. It
Mhm.
it doesn't end. It doesn't end. It
It
just keeps
doesn't end.
going. Um. So, mom said Kyle Fletcher is doing some of his best work right now. I would agree. I would
Yes.
definitely agree. I still think the whole him not winning at the pay per view was a little like stupid. I get you needed the whole like we need the big Texas moment at All In, only for him to lose it weeks later was just kind of a glaring point of we just wanted the big hometown moment. That's it, and because clearly, what did Dustin say? He needed like double knee surgery or something at this
Yeah,
rate.
that's crazy. He needs
So
double
you
knee surgery.
so you put the belt on the guy that needed double knee surgery just for the sake of, oh, we got a big feel good moment at the pay per view. It's like, okay, well, that made no fucking sense because I think you still would have gotten a pretty decent reaction if Kyle won it. So, cool. But I mean, I think he honestly would have had a bigger reaction at All In than he did in that random ass. What was it, a Collision? I think he won it on, or was it Dynamite?
Hey, that collision match got 5 stars by Dave Meltzer.
Okay, because that's all that fucking matters. Clearly, is Meltzer's stupid ass ratings. But yeah, it's just like so you had him win it on a random ass collision as opposed to your biggest pay per view of the year.
Yeah.
Cool, like whatever. But I'm just glad he's finally gotten it. The whole like circumstances of him finally winning the title aside, I'm glad he has it. I feel like it'll be a real reign hopefully if they do them correctly. But it's Kyle. I mean, I would love for him to kind of like get away from the Callis family though to see how he can do on his own because I think he could do just fine without Callis being there the whole time. But that remains to be seen if that'll be the case or not. But yeah, I'm excited to see what Kyle does because everything he's been doing the last few years has been great.
Yeah, I definitely see the potential in like 2 to 3 years him being a main event player and being someone in AEW that could be going for the world title and being someone that you put on the world title as a bad guy and you're like, damn, I really want to see him get his ass kicked, but he always figures out a way to weasel his way and keep the title. I think that would be a strong story to go with Kyle in a couple of years. I mean, just keep doing what you're doing. He's on pace to be AEW's like biggest star so far this year. He's had the best matches, the best promos. Like you said, he doesn't necessarily need the talking piece that is Don Callis. He's a pretty good talker himself. But it's always good to have that. It's, aside from that weird ass painting that we saw on Dynamite.
Oh, don't even, Jesus.
That painting was weird. But other than that, you know, I think he's on the right path. I think what they're doing with Kyle Fletcher is very smart, and what they're doing with the TNT Championship and kind of making it the Workhorse Championship is very smart as well.
Yeah, I completely agree. So, I definitely do agree too with the 3 to 4 years is going to be world champion material because he's got the tools. It's just don't fuck it up and just keep doing what you're doing, and yeah, he'll have the world title in no time.
For sure.
And he also has a great theme song too. Like
it is pretty good.
I mean, like we just love that kind of music too, so we're just like, oh yeah, this is fucking great. So I'm glad people are finally realizing that pop music's actually good. Like, glad you guys are just finding out. I've known for years, but whatever. Anyway, I don't want to get on that soapbox. It's 10 o'clock at night, but I'll just keep going. So all right. So I'm gonna actually do something I don't think we've actually ever done before. So I'm gonna leave the last 2 questions in order up to you. So, do we want to end with talking about Forbidden Door, or do we want to end talking about Karrion and Scarlett?
Ooh, let's end talking about Karrion and Scarlett.
All right, works for me because I have words. So pretty simple question then. To almost close it out, what match of Forbidden Door are we most looking forward to?
All right, so I had to pull up the card for Forbidden Door because I'm not too...
Yeah, me too.
Forbidden Door is weird because you don't know if it's going to be a typical match from AEW, like Okada versus Strickland for the Unified Championship, or is it going to be a match where they're bringing in people from outside of the company from like New Japan, where they have Zack Sabre Jr. taking on somebody, it's not determined yet who is it going to be, in a singles match for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. So it's kind of, this is kind of one of their weird pay-per-views. I am looking forward to that Okada Swerve match. I think it's going to be very good. I think maybe that could be a match that could bring Okada out of his lackadaisical state. Tony Storm versus Athena is going to be great.
Yeah, it's probably my pick, honestly. Swerve's a very close second, but I feel like Tony and Athena, it's just the, not only is it just going to be a good wrestling match here, because they're both great, but it's also just the outcome of this one is very unclear. Are we going to have Athena lose a big match like this, or are we going to have Tony pull through, like, who's going to win that one? Because you can easily see either one of them winning, but it's just a matter of, how that's going to happen, who's going to come out on top with that. The intrigue of that one alone is why I'm excited for that one the most. But yeah, this is always a very odd pay-per-view, but yeah, I mean, there's still some stuff we can look forward to because they're set in stone, because it's, like you said, it's kind of sad when you pull it up on Wikipedia, and out of the 7 matches they have advertised, what is it? 3 of them, no, 2 of them are set in stone. With like, it's this person against this person. That's it. So,
I mean, we still got like what 2 weeks before Forbidden Door, so we still got a couple of shows where
24th,
yeah,
12 days.
So we still got a couple shows where they can build up the card, and I don't know if it's gonna stay those 7 matches. And most likely it's gonna be way more, you know.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm sure we'll be just fine with this AEW pay-per-view.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, it's always very intriguing to see how we mix the brands together. So should be a good one, hopefully. But we'll see what happens in 12 days.
Mhm.
All right, so you picked it. Mom's last comment was, "I have no idea. Karrion and Scarlett were not signed." So this is pretty much what I alluded to earlier with WWE kind of picking and choosing to pull the, oh, well, we like to listen to fans and we'll give them what they want kind of bullshit, because you kind of had the live crowd saying, hey, we want Karrion, this is what we want, and they kind of like plugged their like ears and were like, oh yeah, sorry, we can't hear you, and now they're gone. And again, it kind of goes back into what we were talking about originally with Mike's questions, where it's like, oh, this is just a work. They're going to bring them back because they've done it before. And it's like, no, guys, I think they're actually legit gone, because you don't just open up your pro wrestling tees shop again if you're not coming back with WWE. You don't talk about the things that Karrion and Scarlett did after they got let go that, oh yeah, no, they're coming back all right. It's like, no, I think it's safe to say, guys, that they are gone, at least for the foreseeable future. Is it a little annoying? Yes, absolutely frustrating. Absolutely frustrating, but clearly WWE didn't want to use them, and it's a damn shame. And hopefully some other place picks them up. I don't know who it's going to be at this point, but it's just kind of a shame that things had to end that way, because I think, again, if you go back and listen to what Karrion was saying in the part 2 of his documentary, there really was no negotiations. Like, even though there were towards the end, he didn't really feel like they were taking it seriously. So I feel like WWE was kind of just like biding their time to kick them out the door, which I don't like, because I've said it many times on the show, I've always been a fan of Karrion and Scarlett. I thought they've been really cool. Had one of the more unique looks, entrances in wrestling, period. I get the whole, well, he's not that great in, because again, as a Shayna Baszler fan, I hear this shit all the time, so that just doesn't faze me. It's just like, if that's not your style of wrestling that you enjoy, of course you're not gonna get it. So I don't really give a shit. I get it. I like the heavy ground and pound kind of style wrestling too, so of course I gravitate to people like Shayna and Karrion, so I don't really get the issue there. But yeah, it's just another case of, yeah, WWE listens to the fans when they want to and when it's convenient for them. And clearly, when Karrion and Scarlett, it was not convenient for them for whatever reason.
Yeah, it's just so weird. I've never seen a situation where this one individual has garnered so much support outside, organically from fans, even as a bad guy. I can't pinpoint it as to why it started happening or what were we missing or what. I was just kind of surprised by it, but I thought that WWE would do the smart thing and capitalize on it, not put the kibosh on it. They kind of closed the door on it. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I always thought Karrion Kross was cool. I was always a fan of his stuff that he did before he came to WWE. That's why when he came to WWE, I'm like, oh, this is going to be great, because I always felt like he had a creative mind. Like, he had a mind that was a little different than most people's. And so I wish that WWE would have listened to more of his creative input, because he probably could have did some cool stuff, because he knows himself the best. but it's just the nature of the business. I don't think that I think that down the line there could be a reunion. I do think,
Maybe.
yeah, but I mean, I don't see him. He can't go to AEW because his wife
Oh,
has a lawsuit against Don
yeah,
Callis. So
rightfully so.
yeah, so I don't expect them to show up on AEW programming anytime soon. They might show up in TNA, which would be cool. I think if he went
Yeah,
back to TNA, because he was in TNA, he did a stint in TNA before. I think I think it'd be a good fit for him. You know,
yeah,
I just want to see him active, keep doing the wrestling thing. I think he's a very intriguing character. I think he was just hampered. Like a lot of his creativity wasn't utilized in WWE for some reason.
yeah. It's odd. Clearly, we're never going to know the answer because I mean, obviously, Karrion can only tell his side, and then WWE is never going to really tell their side, and obviously the truth's somewhere in the middle. But I also don't see Karrion as the kind of person that's going to like bullshit you into thinking, "Oh, woe is me." Like I was 100% the victim here. He seems like a pretty straightforward kind of guy, and again, he didn't really seem like he disparaged WWE too much. It was just like, look, this is what happened, and this is how it turned out, and this is how I feel about it. Because of course, he can only ever say how he feels about the situation and whatever. And yeah, it's a shame because they could have definitely used him and his ideas and Scarlett's. And I wish they could have had Scarlett wrestle more because she's not that bad of a wrestler either. It's just she was just kind of always the side piece, which is a shame. But I mean, at least they still kept her around. But
Right.
yeah, it would be nice to see her and him go somewhere. I mean, AEW would be fun if that the whole lawsuit wasn't a thing. But maybe if somebody leaves, if Callis leaves, and maybe they'll go to AEW. But yeah, until then, yeah, send them back to TNA for a little bit. Why not? I mean, or just have them do something that still keeps them in the eyes of the wrestling fans, or even just like I don't know, people online in general. Because I mean, Shotzi and Scarlett have their like YouTube channel. They do the ghost stuff all the time.
Yeah.
Honestly, Mom and I watch that all the time. It's fascinating to us. A little creepy sometimes, a little spooky, but it's still something. It's still something to keep them in the forefront of your mind at all times. So whatever they can do to get people to continue to pay attention to them. But yeah, it's just a shame that WWE pretty much let's just call a spade, just flat out ignored the fans and what they wanted in this instance. So yeah, it sucks. And again, this should be the prime example of yeah, they listen to the fans, but only when they want to, not so much because they feel obligated to. So that's just WWE for you. It's just that's just how they've always been and how they'll continue to be. So it sucks. It just sucks because they wasted a lot of potential on that one. I think anyway.
I think so too.
Yeah. All right. So now that we've moved the questions around and the comments and everything, that was stuff. So, Mom, thank you as always.
Thank you, Mom.
Hopefully we ranted enough about Karrion and Scarlett too, because she was not happy either. Understandably so, because she's also been a fan like I have, so she was not too thrilled about how that all went down either. But yeah, it's just still appreciate giving us stuff to talk about because God knows there was a lot of it this week. So
Yes, there
thank
was.
you, Mike. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Mom. We always appreciate it. And yeah, that is it. We are done.
All right, we're getting the hell out of here. Bye. No, I'm kidding.
Okay, bye.
I'm kidding.
Clip.
I'm kidding. No, just to let you guys know, if you've made it this far into the podcast, thank you very much for listening. We greatly, greatly appreciate your support. If you're not listening on the platform of your choice, just know that this podcast is available on all podcast platforms. Just simply search Ringside Rundown, hit the follow or subscribe button, whatever the platform asks you to do, and you'll never miss an episode of the Ringside Rundown podcast. We put out an episode weekly, so you get weekly doses of the Ringside Rundown podcast. You can also stay up to date with the podcast. We're all across the board on social media. We're on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Ringside Rundown. You can check out our short form content on TikTok, Ringside_Rundown. And I also do streams. I stream every Monday Night Raw, AEW Dynamite, Friday Night SmackDown, and AEW Collision. I do live watch-alongs on Twitch. So come follow me, twitch.tv/Ringside Rundown. It's a great time. But again, check out the podcast on all podcast platforms. Like I said, it's on Spotify, Apple, Amazon Music, Audible. If you don't have a platform, or if it's not on your platform that you use, just simply send us a DM. Let us know what platform you use. We will get you an episode of that podcast. We will send you a link on a silver platter, but the caveat is you have to give us back the silver platter because it belongs to Shay's mom, and she's extra mad about Karrion and Scarlett, so I don't want to get her any more angrier. So I suggest once you use the link, give us back the platter as soon as possible.
Please, because I don't want to have to deal with that.
Yeah, there you go. Shay, where can they get in touch with you?
You can find me on Twitter, on my wrestling Twitter, at ShayRingside_. Just like Eric's, except just with my name. So
there you go. There you go. Follow her. She's a great wrestling follow, as is the Ringside Rundown. We'll be back next week with another episode. I believe it's going to be another questions episode.
I believe so, yes, because let me double check the calendar here.
Check the calendar.
Oh no, I don't think so, because not this coming Sunday, but the Sunday after that's Forbidden Door. So we might have some predictions we need to get out.
Oh, okay. All right, yeah, because that would be
24th, yeah.
Our next episode we will record on the 19th.
Yeah, and then that Saturday or Sunday coming up, the Forbidden Door pay-per-view. So we'll have to do some predictions. It never ends. It keeps going.
We keep grinding, people, so we hope that you've been paying attention and you've been rocking with us because we've been grinding out this episode. I believe this is episode 170.
Possibly. I feel like did we stop counting? I don't think we did.
No, I don't think we did. I'm pretty sure this is episode 170, ladies and gentlemen, and we have no intention of stopping anytime soon. Just double check it because I don't want to sound like an idiot on this podcast.
Just look on the Spotify list.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm looking on the Spotify list, and of course it's going to take forever to load. Yes, this is episode 170.
Nice.
Holy crap.
We're getting there. Slowly but surely. We'll get to 200 before you know it.
And then that'll be the end. No, I'm kidding. No.
We stop it. We retire at 200.
There you go. Well, thank you guys for listening. Thank you, Shay, for another wonderful episode. We'll catch you on the next one. For Shay Hickson, my name is Eric Vasquez. Take care, guys.
See you later, guys.